Phablet, mini tablet, whatever you wanna call it, this is the biggest phone that Samsung has ever produced. I guess the name says it all. I'm just Garcia and you're watching Tech for Geeks, and this is the full review of the Samsung Galaxy Mega. Before we get started, I would like to thank Mobicity for sending this out. So for all your mobile needs, you can check out their website, and I've got their link in the description box below. So the Galaxy Mega, now the first impressions from everyone would have to be the large 6.3-inch display. Yes, you've heard it, 6.3-inch display. This is the largest device I've ever held out of all the devices I've used. Actually, you know what, let me show you a quick comparison. So here I've got the HTC One, Galaxy S4, and the Nexus 4. Now you can even stack them all together, and at the same time you'll still be able to see the Galaxy Mega. Now it's got a very identical design to the Galaxy S4. It also has a plastic back and edges which are painted to give it a metal look. Now it felt exactly like the Galaxy S4 as well, but bigger because of the size on the Mega. Now this is not a device for everyone because of the display, but if you love big displays like I do, then you're going to enjoy using this phone and definitely get a lot of attention because of the display. Now this is not a one-handed device as well, and although I can hold it with one hand, there's still times where I nearly drop the device actually. So but I guess if you have large hands, then you're gonna be fine. I guess the most asked question is if it would fit in your pocket or not. Well, all I can tell you now is yes, it will, but don't wear skinny jeans, seriously. But even wearing shorts, you'll actually still see some parts of the phone. Taking a look at the hardware, on the right side of the phone you'll find the power button. On the other side, you'll find the volume up and down button. And at the top of the phone, you'll find the 3.5mm headphone jack, microphone, and IR blaster. On the bottom, you'll find the micro USB port and the secondary microphone. At the front is an LED notification light, an earpiece, proximity sensors, front-facing camera, capacitive touch buttons, and home button. Over the back is an 8-megapixel camera with an LED flash, and on the corner you'll find the stereo speakers. So basically, if you put it next to the Galaxy S4, you're basically just missing out a few sensors. As good as it sounds, the display is lacking of pixel density on like what you would find on most phones. The 233 ppi is just not enough to make text crisp and sharp, but apart from that, the screen is actually good. Now it's vivid, I guess, as from most Samsung devices, and probably just a tiny bit more contrast on the display would have been better. Now to be honest, I didn't even think of all the bad points about the display because I really had a great time using it, and the fact that I can actually see more on the screen when browsing just takes the smartphone to a whole new experience. Now the display is bright, which is something you would need outdoors, and the Galaxy Mega does a great job on that. Do whatever you want to do with the phone, it will still last for a whole day. Well, in my case, yes. I really had trouble using all the battery from the device, which is a good sign. It can easily last for me for about a whole day with at least, to be honest, 60% remaining. So that's pretty good. Now that's with continuous web browsing and using Twitter at the same time. As for light to medium consumption, it can easily last for at least 2 to 3 days, but overall superb battery life, and it's something that I really missed on a smartphone. The 8-megapixel rear camera as well as the 1.9-megapixel front-facing camera sensors are quite disappointing. It lacks of white balance, saturation, and contrast to really have some great shots. Now photos turn out to be grainy as well, whether it's taken outdoors or indoors. And as for video recording, it has a decent amount of saturation, although it needs more contrast so the subject will really pop out. Now, the videos, however, can sometimes be washed out as well, as you can see in the video. So it really is basically having trouble picking up the exposure. Now, the autofocus is not so bad as well. It picks up the moving object quite quick, so no problems on that. Now you do get different effects as well, and it also has the latest camera software, and although you don't get the dual shot feature on the S4, as that is only exclusive to the S4. Powering the Galaxy Mega is a dual-core Snapdragon 400 processor running at 1.7 GHz, along with Adreno 305 GPU and 1.5 GB of RAM. Now the Mega is not really meant to compete against high-end smartphones in the market, as it's all about having a whole new experience. But the performance isn't actually that bad. Obviously, running TouchWiz on this device makes it laggy at times, but I just installed a launcher, which is, in this case, I'm using Action Launcher Pro, and it really helps the device to run smoother when scrolling or switching to different pages. Now, as for opening multiple applications, that's when you're going to start having lags and stutters, because that's when you really need more cores on the device. And I guess this is the reason why Samsung went to choose 720p display as well, so it won't affect the performance that much as opposed to a full HD display. Now, I didn't really have any problems running some of my favorite games as well. Now, the graphics were detailed and running smooth enough for my liking. Samsung has done a great job in making sure that their latest devices will have the latest updates, so not just for flagship devices. The Galaxy Mega is running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean with TouchWiz UI on top, which is basically a love it or hate it UI. It doesn't have the same features as you would find on the Galaxy S4, but has Watch On at least, so you can use the IR Blaster to control your TV. Now, as always, it is really customizable, and you can put widgets as well and be creative as you want with your home screen. Now, recently got an update with this device, and one thing I've noticed with the update is whenever I restart the phone, it gets stuck in boot loops, so I thought I would just throw it out there. Considering that this is not a flagship device from Samsung, this is actually a really great all-in-one kind of device. It has a large display, great battery life, and has a power enough for most tasks. Now, if you love multimedia, then no problem. Watching video on the Mega is a great experience despite the negativities on this device, such as the camera and the display. Well, I guess we can give this device a consideration. Now, if you can get your hands on this in stores, then I highly recommend you do so because it's a great phone. I've been using this for a solid 3 weeks now, and I just couldn't get my hands off it. Alright, so that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe, as it really helps the channel out a lot. As always, I'm Jens Garcia from Tech for Geeks, and I'll see you all in the next one.